Guys, I found out the date earlier. It's September 19th. Yes, all right. 2024, we're here at Atomic. My name is Sarah Chasser. We're going to use David and Sarah, so I have a lead and a follow, and we'll be showing this. We talked about dips today. First and foremost, we just did a very simple drill, just kind of extending a foot and then being back here. We don't want to put weight forward on it. That's going to hinge our knees a little too much, take our weight off of us too much. It feels a little bit more secure because we're putting weight on that front foot. Don't do it. We had leaders do this too, just to understand the follows positioning as well. And we did it with both legs, okay? Then a very simple, easy drill that we started with. Follows, you can go underneath or on top. It kind of varies from person to person. This is a little easier, I think, when you're starting. And then leads, we talked about different areas to grab on the follow. You can be a little bit higher up in that armpit. You can be a little bit more on the rib cage, in between on the hip. You can go more on the back too. If in doubt, ask your follow. If you'd accidentally touch something, say, I'm so sorry, and talk about it. Yes, don't keep grabbing it and hope nothing happens, okay? Didn't matter which foot, and then we just had this extension out, right? So basically, I'm not giving David any of my weight here, yeah? Where that becomes a problem is when I drop my hips, then I'm gonna go dead weight on my lead. I don't wanna do that. Or if the leader takes a step out, then the lead is asking me to give more of my weight. So I'm gonna be kind of more in the middle of David's 2 feet, okay? As he creates this plie action, he's taking on a little bit more of my weight, and we talked about the tom plie. Okay, so transitioning from one side to another to ask the follow and help them to get up, okay? So we're here, go ahead. Tom plie, wee. And I feel that kind of transition onto my right leg in this instance follows, and I feel the need to get up. We can also do it underneath here. Sometimes follows prefer this. It just sort of depends on the height of each partner. David's a little bit taller than me. Well, most humans are taller than me. So I tend to go underneath more than on top, but sometimes just the prep position getting into it, okay? Then, I'm gonna borrow you real quick. Okay. We also talked about just the easy entrance into this, prep to inside roll, and then going into that. I can hold on with both hands or one hand. Follows positioning will determine like how far do I want to go. Leads, I can always take an extra step if I really wanted to then help my partner take on more of their weight and then get them up. It feels a little scary at first for the follows, as you saw Sarah, but I did not warn her that I was going to do that. But yeah, you can take an extra step if you're like, oh, I do want to take on my follows weight. One thing I want to make sure of, keep your own weight in this one, is that I am not on top of my follow. So as Sarah goes into this dip here, I don't want to be forward. If I take on my follow's weight and I'm pitched forward here, we will fall, and I will fall on top of them. I don't want to do that, okay? I made sure she had her weight so I didn't drop her here, okay? Then we went into basically what was happening last week. We had a duck turn situation. It came from a whip, but just so you can see here. And what was happening is we were just kind of going here and then down. And we weren't really allowing this expansion. We weren't thinking about our angles or where we were in the slot. So we started very simply here, kind of holding on like my brother. And then I'm going underneath here. I want to make sure I'm not lifting with my shoulder. I'm not trying to get like the highest fist in the land, because that's going to make it harder for the follows to actually engage their lats and press down. So very simply, I'm making sure I'm off of the slot. I'm slightly behind my partner. So I'm just going to take a step in front and come up. I'm barely taking on any weight, if that. And then we did behind. So this is where you really have to just make sure that you have some room there. You twist your body a little bit more, follows the way that Sarah just did, and then you're just kind of hooking behind. Then we talked about this prep action. So we're actually starting more here. I'm on the bicep, yeah, of the follower's arm. We're expanding away, and then we come up together. That's the rise or the breath. And then I'm taking my follow off of their weight as I move through, okay? If I change the angle a little bit more, then I can ask for other things. This might yield for follows to do a little bit more of that hook behind action that we had talked about. I want to make sure I'm not in the slot though, and I definitely don't want to be ahead of where my follower is, okay? Thank you. Get in here. Don't drop me, okay? I'm just kidding. So I'm going to show some of these different examples. When I cross in front here, I'm taking on most of the weight unless my leader takes an extra big step, right? And then even still, I can just plie a little bit more. David barely has any of my weight there, so that step in front is a very secure place for us to go as a follower. If the angle changes a little bit, so lead and follow create this angle here, I can take that step back, okay? And this kind of takes the upper body a little bit more into my lead. I want to be careful as I drop the hip, I'm giving a lot of my weight to my leader, and I have to be careful I'm not going dead weight quickly into any action there. The other action that we talked about was I'm going to give a little bit more of this weight, both legs staying straight. So I'm gonna go here, and as I lean into it, I'm keeping the hips lifted. I don't wanna drop them too low, and then I can always plie and kind of move up. Now say I go into this, my leader wasn't quite ready, as I'm going through, I can always just take that foot and step and create a little bit of a twist action before then I come up, and then we can move out of it however we need to, yeah? So there's always this kind of escape mechanism that we can utilize. But that was our duck action, yes? Think about our angles and our positions, try things out, be responsible for our own weight, yes? And be mindful of others. That was our class, guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you.